Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, October 5th. Today we will still have breezy conditions as a weak front drops southeast through Idaho and Utah. So these breezy winds will affect parts of the central mountains of Utah into northern Utah, southeast Idaho, and southern Wyoming, with gusts around 25 or 30 miles per hour and very low relative humidity. Winds decrease on Tuesday, but then we will see winds increase again on Wednesday over southern and western areas. Otherwise, relative humidity will remain very low during the day with poor to moderate overnight humidity recovery. As we look at the near surface smoke forecast, you can see with westerly flow, we still have smoke impacts over mainly Nevada into southern Idaho this morning, and a lot of that smoke gets pushed further south into mainly Nevada, but also spreading into Utah going through this afternoon. We will see similar conditions at the 6,000 foot level. We've had no precipitation or lightning over the last 24 hours and generally light initial attack across the Great Basin, but we did have a larger fire over on the Sierra front. Over the last 7 days, we've had really no precipitation in the Great Basin, and even over the last 2 weeks, we only saw precipitation really with our last cold front up north over central Idaho. However, all other areas well below normal precipitation, if anything at all. Currently, our ERC conditions continue to climb with ERCs above the 90th to 97th percentile over much of Utah, and even back over western and northern Nevada into Idaho, ERCs are above the 80th percentile. Looking at a couple of our ERC charts, you can see up in central Idaho, which is where we had our most recent wetting rains, you can see the ERCs, although they dropped significantly after that event, have increased more significantly and are now well above normal and approaching record highs for the time of year. Over western areas where we did see that larger fire yesterday on the Sierra front, ERCs are also at record highs, and we're seeing ERCs set new records over the rest of southern and eastern Nevada into Utah. Currently, our 10-hour fuel moisture is significantly low across Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip, and even fairly low over parts of southern Idaho. Our satellite image from this morning shows high pressure still dominating much of the Great Basin. You can see that weaker cold front that's dropping south into the northern Rockies and clipping northern Utah, Wyoming, and eastern Idaho, bringing that slight increase in winds. Otherwise, any moisture certainly remaining well off to the east. Looking at our weather pattern for later today, again, you can see those drier conditions in place with still low relative humidity. No high risk for those winds, as most of those wind gusts should remain in the 20s across much of Utah. But again, with the very low relative humidity, certainly could be an impact if we see any new fires or on any existing fires in those areas. Again, you can see the wind gusts here. The areas in green generally showing gusts in the 20s over northern and central Utah into Wyoming, and the much lighter winds further west. Relative humidity will remain similar to what we've been experiencing, relative humidity dropping into the low to mid single digits over much of Nevada and Utah and into the teens across Idaho and Wyoming. As we move into Tuesday, the ridge rebuilds with decreasing winds. Again, no high risk, but areas critically dry everywhere. Again, you can see the wind gusts definitely lighter in all areas tomorrow, just some typical breezes across the basin, with still continued single-digit relative humidity across the south and central areas, and then teens to near 20% up into Idaho. On Wednesday, that ridge gets pushed a little bit further to the east as we see a weak disturbance move into western areas of the Great Basin. It might bring some cloud cover, but right now we're not expecting any moisture with this feature, so no high risk issued for Wednesday. However, we will see a slight increase in winds with this feature, so we will see southerly to southwest winds increase over southern parts of Nevada into southwest Utah, and also over parts of the Arizona or parts of the Sierra front. Relative humidity again remaining into the single digits. No forecast amounts of precipitation here over the next few days. We will see a bigger change as we get closer to the weekend. On Thursday, we see a stronger area of low pressure approaching the west coast, still warm and dry across our area with no high risk, but we will see winds increase on Friday, especially over the western half of the Great Basin as that area of low pressure moves in. Right now it's still looking windy and dry, so we do have some high risk for winds over the Sierra front into western and northwest Nevada, and it looks like much of the moisture is going to be sliding south into parts of central and southern California. However, as we move into the weekend, we will see a greater chance of moisture with some showers, some areas seeing some wetting precipitation and breezy winds along with much cooler temperatures starting on Saturday. So you will see a decrease in fire potential over much of the northern and western half of the Great Basin. Still some windy and dry conditions potentially in the far south on Saturday, but we will see that moisture make its way all the way through the Great Basin by Sunday. The only areas that may not see much, if any, precipitation would be areas of southern Nevada and parts of the Arizona Strip, maybe far southern Utah. Much of the rest of the Great Basin should at least get some lighter shower activity, certainly higher humidity and cooler temperatures. And again, some areas will see wetting rains. And you can see here from our 7-day total precip, the better chances of wetting rains will be in the higher terrain of Idaho, Wyoming, and northern Utah and down into northern Nevada. Again, much more showery precip on the southern periphery, affecting parts of southern Utah and back into eastern and central Nevada. Looking at our 8 to 14 day outlook from October 12th through the 18th, showing cooler temperatures in the north and potentially wetter conditions as those cold fronts start to drop south, bringing us better chances of moisture. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.